Okay, let's do some more practice with our words in context. Please follow along. I'm going to go ahead and read these, help with the anticipation, and then we will eliminate. Please remember, and I will try to remind you if I can remember, cover up those answer choices with your hand. Do not look at them until you have your anticipation in place. Okay, number 1. The following text is adapted from Nathaniel Hawthorne's 1837 story, Dr. Heidegger's Experiment. The main character, a physician, is experimenting with rehydrating a dried flower. At first, the rose lay lightly on the surface of the fluid, appearing to imbibe none of its moisture. Soon, however, a singular change began to be visible. The crushed dried petals stirred and assumed a deepening tinge of crimson, as if the flower were reviving from a death-like slumber. So we're noticing that this thing that we need to anticipate here, in fact, I'm going to scribble it out because we're going to make our own anticipation here, is describing the change that became visible. It looks like we're saying these crushed dried petals stirred and deepening tinge of crimson as if it was reviving from a death-like slumber. So I think the change would be something like awakening or amazing or rising from the dead, something like awakening, amazing, like life, or how about death-defying, because it's going against what we see here. Again, the idea that it seemed like nothing, however, then it was a something, yeah? So let's go to the answer choices here and see. A lonely. Do we have any evidence that was a lonely change? We're not seeing anything like that, so let's give it an X. A disagreeable change, a change that we find not good. No, we don't really see that. It was coming back to life. It's awakening. It's amazing. It's death-defying. So we're going to give that one X. An acceptable change, one that we will accept. Now, this could be tempting because at the very least, it's not bad. But acceptable has a pretty neutral or kind of positive tone. It's not this whole death-defying awakening thing that we're looking for. So we're going to give that one an X. And then for the last one, we have extraordinary, extraordinary, more than ordinary, unusual. And that is what we're looking for, awakening from the dead, something that appeared to be one way and then became a different way, death-defying. That matches our anticipation the best. So we're going to give that one a check and pick D. Let's see our next one. Rejecting the premise that the literary magazine Ebony and Topaz, 1927, should present a unified vision of Black American identity, editor Charles S. Johnson fostered his contributors' diverse perspectives by promoting their authorial autonomy. Johnson's self-effacement diverged from the editorial stances of W.E.B. Du Bois and Alain Locke, whose decisions for their publications were more blank. So again, which choice completes the text with the most logical and precise word or phrase? Don't look at those answer choices. Let's look back at the question stem. What kind of things do we see? Rejecting that these magazines should present a unified vision. This guy rejected that it should be unified and fostered diverse perspectives. So who's doing that? Johnson is, okay? So again, he's not saying it should be unified. We want a lot of diverseness here. This says Johnson's self-effacement diverged or was different from, that's a good transition word to keep an eye on, from the editorial stances of W.E.B. Du Bois and Alain Locke, whose decisions for their publication were more not diverse perspectives, not self-effacement. Even if we don't know what self-effacement means, we already set up with that green and that yellow the opposites. So if the yellow is Johnson, then these guys must be green. So we're looking for here unified vision, unified vision. So let's go to the answer choices and do some checks, question marks, and X's. We look at the answer choice A, proficient. Proficient means successful or good at something. And that doesn't mean unified, so we're going to give that an X. Dogmatic. Dogmatic, maybe we don't know what that one is. Let's give it a question mark. Ambiguous. Ambiguous means, think ambi as the prefix here. Ambi means both. So ambiguous could mean it can go both ways. It's not clear. So that here, again, we're looking for unified vision. We got to give that one an X. And then we have unpretentious. Maybe we know what this one means? I think so. Unpretentious means not pretending, right? It means you're just kind of the way you are. You're not putting on airs or trying to be fancy at all. And again, here we're looking for unified vision, and that doesn't match our anticipation. So even if we don't know what dogmatic means, because we knew what the other ones meant, we can say, oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go with B. I'm pretty sure that's right because the other one's wrong. So dogmatic means characterized by or given to the expression of opinions very strongly or positively as if they were fact. Yeah? Dogma is going to be like a set of strict laws or rules, almost something that's held as an established opinion, a code of tenets, something that's put forth with authority. Yeah. So again, the idea that he's open to lots of different perspectives, that would definitely contradict something that's being put forth as just one solid opinion. Very good. We got that one. Let's take a look at the next one. Economist Marco Castillo and colleagues showed that nuisance costs, the time and effort people must spend to make donations, reduces charitable giving. Ooh, that's a hard sentence. Let's take a minute. So these nuisance costs, that's like the time and money people have to spend to make a donation, reduce charitable giving. Okay, so if it's annoying to give to charity, people do it less. Okay. Charities can mitigate this effect. Charities can make this effect less by compensating donors for nuisance costs. So, okay, they can make that less by helping people out, like lessening the nuisance costs. But those costs, though variable, are largely blank donation size. So charities that compensate donors will likely favor attracting a few large donors over many small donors. So this is a very tricky one, so hang in there with me. So we know that from the first part of the sentence that these nuisance costs make charitable giving less. And then charities can do something by helping out, by like trying to take up some of those nuisance costs. But the costs, while they change a little bit, are blank to donation size. What do they have to do to donation size? Well, it says that charities that compensate donors will favor attracting a few large donors over many small donors. Now let's think about why you might do that. If you're a charity and you're like, okay, it costs me $3 every time somebody donates. If it's $3 for everybody, maybe you would say, you know what, if I can get 10 really big donors, that'll cost me $30 versus 100 really small donors, that'll cost me $300. I might go in favor of attracting a few large donors over many small donors. And that's when the amount that I have to pay is the same for all size donors. Then it would make sense for me just to get a few large is bigger, better than lots of small. Now, if the nuisance cost was tied to the amount of donation, like big donations had bigger nuisance costs and smaller donations had smaller nuisance costs, maybe I wouldn't care as much whether I got a few big or lots of little small donations. It would kind of even out because the bigger donations come with a bigger cost and the smaller donations come with a smaller cost. So probably what I need to anticipate here, because this is saying that they are likely to favor attracting a few large over many small. That means it's probably the same nuisance cost for all. So would we say that it's connected to donation size? No, it's unconnected. It's the same for all. So we're going to anticipate something like unconnected to donation size, or nothing to do with donation size. It's just kind of the same for all. And that's why picking a few big would be better than lots of small. So let's go to our answer choices. Supplemental to, that means in addition to, or building onto, or filling out the rest of something. That doesn't mean unconnected to, so we're going to give it an X. Predictive of means you can predict it, you can see it ahead of time. Does that mean unconnected to? No. Give that an X. Independent of. Independent means on its own, not connected with, having nothing to do with. So that does match our anticipation. We're going to give that a check. And then subsumed in, that can be a really tricky word. So let's just give that one a question mark. I don't know what that means. Is it clear what our answer choice should be? Absolutely it is, because we only have one check mark here, so we can pick C. So to subsume means to include or place within something larger or more comprehensive. Encompass as a subordinate or component element. So to be included in something else, or to be enveloped in something else. So we can see that that doesn't match unconnected to, because that would be very connected to. Let's look at another one. During a 2014 archaeological dig in Spain, Vicente Lull and his team uncovered the skeleton of a woman from El Algar, an early Bronze Age society, buried with valuable objects signaling a high position of power. This finding may persuade researchers who have argued that Bronze Age societies were ruled by men to blank that many women have also held leadership roles. So again, if we're trying to find which completes the text with the most logical and precise word or phrase, let's see, what happened here? We found a woman, skeleton, and she was buried with valuable stuff. She had high position of power. This finding may persuade researchers who have argued that only men were in charge to do what? Well, maybe to change their mind, to think different, right? But notice how the sentence ends. Meant to blank that women had leadership roles. Again, we're going to have a swap here, right? We're going to have a shift here. So really they're saying one thing and now they have to say the other thing. What's that called when you say one thing and then you have to say the other thing? Is it something like admit, give up, something like that, to say that, okay, women have also had leadership roles. So let's go to our answer choices and see which one matches. Wave. Wave is not like a wave your hand, that's without the I, but wave means to kind of give up. So here, that might be very tempting, but if we're not 1,000% sure what it means, we can give it a question mark. But it's slightly different sort of give up than to admit. That means to kind of give away, to relinquish, to put off from consideration, to kind of throw away, right? They're not throwing away that women have. They're like owning it, right? They're saying they're admitting it, yeah? So even if we don't know what it means, let's give it a question mark for now. Concede. Concede means to admit or to give in that somebody else is right. This is the perfect match for our anticipation. Let's give that a check. Refute means to fight against. So that one is actually the opposite of what we want. So let's give that an X. And require means you to have to do something. And again, here we're just admitting and giving up. So this one's going to get an X as well. And that matches our anticipation. We're going to go with B here. All right, let's look at the next one. Oh, I think we already saw this one. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, we already saw that one. Let's go on to the next one. The following text is from Yann Martel's 2001 novel Life of Pi, a great book. The narrator's family owned a zoo when he was a child. It was a huge zoo, spread over numberless acres, big enough to require a train to explore it, though it seemed to get smaller as I grew older, train included. As used in the text, what does the word spread most nearly mean here? So again, spread over acres. It's big, it's huge, it's blank over a numberless acres. It's probably something like covers or goes all around, fills up, because it's very big. So that's what it would have to do to numberless acres. So let's go to the answer choices. Hidden. Do we get any idea that it was covered up or hidden? No, we do not. So let's give that an X. Discussed. Do we get any hint that it was talked about? Oh, no, give that an X. Extended. Does that mean to spread out, fills up, covers up? Absolutely. That's going to get a check. Coated. Coated means to cover just the outside. And again, here, we're not just saying it's just covering it. It's actually like sitting on it. It is there. So that's going to not match. That'll get an X. And we'll pick extended. All right, next one. Charles Teeny Harris was a photographer for the Pittsburgh Courier from 1936 to 1975. During his career, he took over 70,000 photographs documenting everyday life in Pittsburgh Black communities. The Carnegie Museum of Art maintains thousands of his photographs, carefully blanking them so that the audience continue to view them well into the future. Well, what would be a good thing to anticipate here? If we're going to be doing something to them, what would we do to them so that audience can continue to view them into the future? Well, we'd have to maybe something like keep them, for sure, preserve them, maintain them. And again, you'll see I'm writing lots of options for our answer choices here. You don't have to write as many. You really only need one. But sometimes it's helpful if you can't think of the exact right one to think of a couple ones that might fit on our blank. Okay, so looking at the answer choices. Does replacing mean to keep, preserve, maintain so people can look at them in the future? Oh, no, we'll give that an X. Inventing? Any of the ideas that they're making new ones? No, we're just trying to keep, preserve, or maintain what's already there. So let's give that one an X. Oh, preserving. I think we got a little lucky guessing the right answer choice here because that really closely matches. Let's give that one an X. And counting, we don't have any indication here that they're counting or enumerating them, like giving them numbers. So I'm going to give that one an X. And we'll circle that up. Again, especially for ones like these, you can really see what's lacking in there that might need to be there if, say, the answer choice were to be B, inventing. We would really need to see them coming up with something new in there, which we don't see. So that can really give us the idea that that's probably not the right answer. All right, let's continue. The following text is adapted from George Eliot's 1871-72 novel Middlemarch. Mr. Brooke had traveled in his younger years and was held in this part of the country to have contracted a too rambling habit of mind. Mr. Brooke's conclusions were as difficult to predict as the weather. So as it is used in the text, what does the word contracted most nearly mean? He contracted a too rambling habit of mind. So he contracted something about his mind. What do we know about his mind? That he was difficult to predict. His conclusions were difficult to predict. Well, that's maybe has like that rambling mind maybe means like a disorganized mind. And it seems here that he contracted a rambling mind. He has a rambling mind or got a rambling mind. So that's something that we're going to have as our anticipation, the idea that he did have this thing, a rambling mind, based on the second part of, or the second sentence here. So let's give the answer choices a look. Has or got is our anticipation. Restricted, does that mean has or got? No. Described, does that mean has or got? No. Developed, does that mean has or got? Yes, that could mean that you got it, you developed it, so we'll give that one a check. Settled, that means to kind of kick back. Is that what we wanted here? To kind of like to lower down or to relax into. So that one does not match our anticipation, so we'll give that one an X. So looks like our answer choice here is C. Now I know this video is getting quite long, so let's give it a little pause. And if you want more practice, let's pick up in the next video.